Broadcasting live from an Airstream somewhere in Tornado Alley, bringing you the people, places, and stories from the Panhandle to the Red River. This is your Only in Oklahoma show.
And welcome to the show. Today we're exploring nature in Hulbert, Oklahoma, and later in the show we're headed to Hulbert's Abbey. I'm Brett,
and I am Harley.
so we'll get to wax a little poetic about abbeys and Catholicism and benediction a little bit later. I'm looking forward to that education.
Are you now?
I get to relive my days at Downtown Abbey at Sacred Heart.
I was hoping you were going to be the educator in the second half of the show.
Here's the problem that I have with you. After well over a decade, I've become the token Catholic. You know, I'm the guy that you rely on to bring the wisdom of Catholicism, the Catholicism wisdom, and for some reason I am the Native American, the storyteller. These are both really bad positions for me to be in because I haven't been Catholic in a long time. I'm still in them, but I'm not Catholic anymore. So we'll stumble through that one. We'll just learn a little bit together.
Have you ever seen pictures of my mom?
You know what? I never have seen pictures of your mom. Why?
I'll have to get you some pictures of my mom. So my mom says that we're Cherokee.
Yeah.
I don't have any documentation to back that up. Like, never done any genealogy at all.
Yeah.
If you saw my mom, though, you'd be 100% positive.
Is it ending on your mom's side?
Yes.
Turn to the left. Yeah, I see it. I had no idea you did.
It's something we don't talk about because I don't have the credentials. I don't have the paperwork.
Credentials?
I don't have the paperwork to back it up.
But here's the thing, and I may get shredded in the comments or in an email or whatever. The reality of it is there's more pride in not having the documentation than it is. You know, we're this generation, and you know, not too far back. We're all about record keeping and having records. Traditionally, if you know, some tribes, they saw it as you sold your soul to the United States government if you registered on any roll. Because that wasn't for that was for the government to keep track of you. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of the way they looked at it. Because I'm Comanche and Apache. There's nothing that ties me to that tribe except for Mama said, Daddy said, Grandma said.
Yeah.
And a lot of that had to do with they didn't want to sign up for
the rolls.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like I don't want to sign up for a credit card for a free pizza. They didn't want to. It's a different thing, but they didn't want to sign up to get blankets and to get food and to get that. They wanted to live their own life and not be, you know, put somewhere and in prison. So a lot of tribe members didn't sign up for rolls. So I mean, consider yourself, unlucky, because it'd be nice to know. You know, it's always nice to know where you come from.
To a degree. I think, yes. I mean, I know that's a whole...
I'm out of my depth.
Well, I just mean, like, that's a hole in my past.
Oh,
that,
yeah.
You know, does impact me a little bit.
Right.
You know, like the thought of it, you know, not having a firm grasp of where all of the branches of my family came from.
Uh-huh.
Does you know does take its toll a little bit, I guess.
Well, and I know I sound like an idiot back there, and I'm going to listen to some playback and go cringe, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, it's not everybody signed up, basically. So
no, but I think something that there are so many ties to the Native American people.
Yeah, there's a lot of branches.
Being an Oklahoman, they're not just genealogically speaking,
mm-hmm.
You know, not just the history of the individual people, but so much about Oklahoma has ties to Native American culture, Native American language, that if you don't appreciate it, like, you're missing out on this depth of the state, really.
Yeah.
You know, the people in the state itself, the towns. The place that we're talking about today is Three Forks Nature Center in Fort Gibson in Sequoyah State Park.
Right.
Like, there's so much Native American tradition and language in our state.
Well, I remember as a kid, did you all do the Sequoyah reading? It was like you had to. I can't remember what it was. I want to say it was like Sequoyah Book Month or something, where they had kind of a. They gave you an incentive for reading X amount of books. Not like Book It, where you got free pizza. I can't remember what it was called, but I
vaguely recall what you're talking about. Like there were certain titles that you had to read, and I want to say it was over the summer, but I could be making it up. I'm old.
It was a Sequoyah, basically a Sequoyah book list of all these award-winning books, and you had to read X. Right, and I'll be the first to tell you, I never got free pizza because I never could finish the Book It. I don't think I can count on. I feel bad, but I can count on one hand how many books I've read.
Not everybody learns from reading, though. Some people need interactive education, and that is really why we're talking about Three Forks Nature Center today. Yeah. This is a one-of-a-kind nature center. It's smaller, been here 100 times. So every May, we go to Sequoyah State Park. It's halfway between Amber and her brother, so we go there and we camp for the week.
Really?
Every summer, yeah.
That's where you go when you go every summer.
Yeah.
Or why I didn't
put two and two together?
Well, I didn't put two and two together.
But this nature center's right there in the middle of the park. They have a variety of live animals. They have a lot of interactive displays and programs and things of that nature. But it's really kind of this mini zoo, and it's free.
You had me at mini zoo, and then you really got me with all the money that we've been spending on food lately. I would love to have a free event. It's like, give me a mini zoo that's free.
It's 100% free. They do take donations, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're funded by the Oklahoma Tourism Department. They've got, so they do a lot of rescuing animals. So they have an owl there that can't fly on its own. And a lot of these animals, they imprint on the humans that save them, and then they really can't make it in the wild after that.
Yeah.
So they have to have a place to stay. That's one of the things that they do there. But it's really fun, and you get some up-close interaction with animals
that you normally wouldn't get
that you
elsewhere.
Normally don't get, yeah. So they have like snakes and all sorts of stuff where you normally don't get that close to them, and you don't get to see them kind of in a more day-to-day thing.
Kind of like when you see videos of people trying to get up close and personal with a bison, and you get to see what a bison really can do.
Oh, God. Those things are scary. Those are like probably one of the most terrifying animals. I mean, they're majestic and they're gorgeous.
Unassuming. They're very unassuming.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem.
Well, it's funny, not to side quest, but me and Tara went down to told you we went down to Medicine Park and drove around kind of the back country of the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge, and a rare sightings that there were actually bison within an earshot, and some even closer than that, and they're just these majestic, beautiful animals. They're almost, to me, it's almost like the closest thing to a dinosaur you can get to. I don't know. There's just something about them that's just, I don't know, man. They just breathe history and culture and tradition. Yeah, give me an opportunity to be up close to nature. Dude, I've been rescuing grasshoppers lately. I rescued a couple of baby mice recently. I don't know. Somebody told me, they're like, "Are you Buddhist?" I'm like, "No." "Are you a pacifist?" "No, I'm the farthest from a pacifist." But give me nature, man, and give it to me for free, for crying out loud. I deserve it.
Well, I think you would probably fit right in. A lot of the people who visit Three Forks are return customers. They're people who come there on a regular basis. They've got an attachment to the animals there. They're close by. But they get a whole lot of people who are just passing through. The number of campers that stay in Sequoyah State Park in annual period, there has to be a ton of people from out of state.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, they have all of these animals that you don't really see that aren't the highlight of a trip to the zoo. You go to the zoo, you want to see elephants and tigers and
lions and tigers and bears. Oh my!
Yeah, but when you come to this place, you see a lot of owls, snakes, and things that you're maybe just not at the top of the list when polling. Like most kids.
Popular. Yeah. Kids want to see. I don't know what do kids want to see.
I think
an iPad.
big scary things are popular, and then the pretty things, I think for the most part.
What do you call a zebra that can surf?
I don't know.
Zebra.
Three Forks Nature Center has lots of activities throughout the year, so kind of something for everybody. They have sunset cruises through the park, like tram cruise through the park. They have guided hikes. They do stargazing, all sorts of stuff like that. Not to mention all of the things that they do for the kids.
Just, you know what? I mean, anytime you can go somewhere and unplug, as connected as we think these things that we thought we would never rely on as much, as connected as we are to each other, as I'm using air quotes, the more disconnected I think we really are from nature, from reality, as a couple of guys that spend most of their days connecting people to reality, engaging our listeners and our fans and whatnot. I love the idea of getting away somewhere and going, you know what? We're gonna leave the phone on the charger. Let's just get out. Let's go look at some animals. Let's stargaze. Let's be in the moment for just a little bit.
So one of the things that they have that I really like is they have a small hiking trail. I think it's like a mile. It's a little loop hiking trail.
Yeah, I think you told me about that.
That goes along the lake. It's really easy. It's an easy hike.
Right.
But it's really pretty. You get to see a lot of you get to kind of touch base with nature.
Yeah.
Without going all in, without, Bear Grylls in it.
Right. You don't have to wear a seal's skin or anything like that, or drink its.
You don't have to do anything crazy, and you're not that far away from. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah.
The riding stables are right across the street. The Sequoyah Lodge is I don't know, maybe 100 yards down the strip.
Yeah, you're not going to need to do the buddy system and wait for somebody to come find.
How the golf course is right across the street. But one of the things that I really like about this nature center, they have, and I don't know, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Honestly, it's really not. It is a little path through this tall grass where they let the natural grass grow, and the local wildflowers and that sort of stuff. They let it grow up, but they cut out a path through this thing, and it's almost like walking. What do they call that when you walk in a circle?
A walking track?
No.
I'm just kidding. A walkabout?
No, like when you walk in a spiral. Like there are religions that do that, where you'll kind of walk.
I don't know. I feel like I'm traveling down a spiral.
So anyway, it's just supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to be this kind of thing where you
kind of a feng shui.
Yeah. It makes you get out of your head for a minute. Well, this walking path that they have through the natural grass and wildflowers has a very similar effect.
Yeah.
Where you're just kind of there in nature. It's just butterflies and grasshoppers and stuff like that. But it's really relaxing. It's really one of my favorite things. I don't know why.
God, I need it. I need to walk in a spiral.
Well, really, again, small nature center, but the Three Forks Nature Center, it's located right there in Sequoyah State Park in eastern Oklahoma, right there on the shores of Fort Gibson in Hulbert, Oklahoma. Definitely recommend it. If you've got an afternoon, it's fun.
Listen, gas $2.39 for regular. Without ethanol, I think you're in at about $3.50 for the full flavored stuff. For the price of gas, go do something for fun. Hitch the wagon, take the kids, take the old lady, and go travel down a spiral in some natural grass. It's a natural grass setting.
You can learn more about it on the Discover Oklahoma page, travelok.com. We'll include a link in the show notes. But after the break, we have found one of the quietest picnic spots in the state.
Unless I'm there.
Today's show brought to you by the Friends of Nakoma Park. This is a local nonprofit that is building a huge public park in Nakoma Park on 60-plus acres.
For a better tomorrow. I really thought you were going to come in with today's show is. That's right. They're working tirelessly in an undeveloped 60-acre park located near Hiawassee and 23rd into a safe, exciting place for the community, for soccer fields, for a walking trail, splash parks, everything you could imagine in a park right at your is it fingertips or is it your feet? I don't know. Is it?
I'm not 100% sure what you would call that either. I am hoping that their walking trail does in fact have a spiral to it,
like Hulbert's, like Sequoyah.
I think it would be good for everybody involved. But they do a lot throughout the year in attempt to raise money for their park. They have a whole lot of activities throughout the year. But the one that is coming up soonest,
absolutely,
that we're most excited about, Bites of EOC.
Mm-hmm.
This is where they invite local restaurants to give out samples of some of their best-selling food. It's coming up quick, Sunday, October 6th,
right
at the Cobblestone Wedding Chapel and Event Center on West Myers Circle in Tacoma Park.
Now listen, it's a hell of a deal. For $10, dude, you can taste all the food. And taste the food, and your money goes to the park. And if you want to get involved, super easy. We're going to include a link in the show notes, or you can check them out on Facebook at Friends of Tacoma Park.
The last time I was at Sequoyah State Park in Hulbert, Oklahoma, I came across something that piqued my interest.
I doubt it.
Our Lady of Clear Creek Abbey is a Benedictine community founded in 1999, which became an abbey in 2010. I didn't realize how big of a thing that was, but more importantly, I didn't realize this was something you could visit to kind of steep yourself in it. And dude,
you thought it was just a compound that you could knock on the door and come in and hang out.
For starters, it looks a little intimidating. You look at it and you're like, am I walking onto a movie set right now?
Well, and you think about it. When you think of monks, you think of the traditional friar tuck type. You know what I mean? Like very, chanting, making wine. And
there's
bread.
A ton of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah.
At this particular place, you can actually go there.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
If you want to go to the Abbey for just a day, you can just stop in if you're passing through. But they have Mass that's open to the public, which I didn't know was a thing.
Yeah, that would be wild. Now, I was raised Catholic. Now, by raised Catholic, there's a fair amount of Catholics that if you run into a Catholic, it's only because you ask the right question. People don't just go around going, hey, how's it going? I'm Catholic. People don't just brag. You don't brag about being Catholic. Most people that go to I think Life Church was created and founded by people that used to be Catholic. There's not a lot of new recruits running around.
So I was actually converted to Catholicism for my first marriage.
I don't know you. You're Cherokee? You're Catholic? What? You're leaving another C out of there.
I was Catholic for as long as it took to get married in the church.
You know, it's a big deal. Like if you're Catholic and you don't get married in the church doesn't recognize your marriage. Number one, it used to be if you married a Protestant and the church, they had to convert to Catholicism and take catechism and things like that to kind of be Catholic with an asterisk by proxy. A lot of strict when it came to matrimony, premarital sex, living in sin. Your boy here, I checked I checked a lot of boxes. So that's why I'm not Catholic anymore. Well, there's a bunch of other reasons, but
I'll say that for the time that I was Catholic,
it was a blast.
I was young. I never understood anything that was happening around me. I'm going to be honest. Like I was 22, maybe 21, 22 years old.
You remember
Dude, I never knew what was happening around me. So I'm literally sitting there in a pew and they're talking in Latin. Like, hold on. Is this the part where we're going to stand up, or is this the part where we're going to kneel? Or is this the part where we stand up and then kneel? And then what's the thing that they do with their fingers where like above their head and their heart? And I never understood what was happening the whole time. I'm just like, does this look like what they're doing? I was terrified the whole time.
Well, it's funny. We went to the Holy City and you go into the chapel, and I was trying to explain to Tara how, when you walk to the pew, you genuflect, you get in the pew, stand, sit, kneel, name of the Father, Son, and that you give, every time you take communion in the body of Christ, you give the sign of the cross, blood of Christ. I could walk into a Catholic church tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, because they're not having Mass unless it's Holy Thursday, and it's not. I could walk into a Catholic church, hell, it could be in Spanish, and I would know exactly what to do, when to do. Indoctrination, man.
I get that, but so again, it's intimidating.
It is intimidating
from an outsider's perspective.
From a layman's perspective, it is. Yeah.
So when I found this abbey, I was like, I'm in the parking lot of this abbey, and I'm like, what is this place? So I'm sitting in the parking lot, Googling, looking at it. Dude, there's so much cool stuff that you can do here. Like, if you're a man, you can actually go and eat with them. Like, that is a thing that you can do.
I just couldn't. I like people, but, you look at them, they're pretty well put together. I'm showing up in my Crocs and gym shorts and a t-shirt. I would just feel complete ineptitude. I would feel so out of place. I don't even know if my Catholic ace cards, it'd be like the equivalent of taking an Uno card to the World Series of Poker. I would not be prepared.
So they do a lot of the traditional monastery activities, like woodworking with actual hand tools, gardening, that sort of stuff. You see a lot of that, but they also I'm not 100% sure of the reasoning behind it, but they do a lot of outreach. So, like I said, you can go have a meal with the monks. There's a process to do that, but you can literally go have a meal with the monks. You can stay there as a guest.
So you can stay amongst them.
You can stay amongst them, but families.
Okay.
I repeated it because it was so funny. But families and groups can visit. Like, they have accommodations that you can stay in. It's not expensive.
Yeah.
And they'll bring you food. Like, if it's just men, you can join them for meals. It really is neat and interesting and completely outside of the norm. But one of the cool things is you can go there for a day, like a day trip, and go have a picnic lunch in an actual monastery and abbey right here in Oklahoma, and I had no clue.
I'm intimidated, and I know a little bit of the lingo, and I'm intimidated at the thought of it, because some of them take an oath of silence. So if you're somebody that can't stand being ignored, not for you.
No, they do. Some of them do take an oath of silence, but they also have some things that are very interesting. They have like a monk priest who's available for confession or spiritual direction. That sounds intimidating to me.
I have thought about, and I'm just going to put it out there, I have thought about getting back into it a little bit. Just dipping my foot back in the holy water, if you will.
Like Catholic light?
I mean, it'd have to be very light. Because here's the thing. It really starts with confession. I lied out my ass. Because when you get to a certain age, they start asking some hard questions.
That was something that I never experienced, though. Even when...
And see, you're supposed to, if you're married, you have to take at least a first communion and
yes.
confession. You have to take sacraments.
Did those things, but there wasn't the traditional, like, you go in a room and open the little side door confession. It was literally the guy's sitting right there, and I'm sitting right here.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm getting ripped off.
Yeah, I got the movie. I got the movie style. And the bad thing was, I went to Catholic school, and I was an altar server. So, yes, the priest doesn't see who you are, but you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he was an instrument of God, I assumed he already knew who I was. So there was a couple of times where, again, some difficult questions were being asked about certain chapters in my life and my curiosities, or were my curiosities getting the better of me yet, my child? And I lied out of my ass. Because when I said it, when I knew I was lying, I literally remember looking at the sky, I swear to you, on a stack of Bible. I remember looking at the sky going, I was apologizing. To great grandparents, my entire ancestral playbook. I was telling everybody sorry.
So maybe instead of going Catholic light, maybe you should go
Episcopal,
full monk mode.
Yeah, that's true.
You could do that.
I can't be me taking it over.
Maybe it's something you need to do.
It might be. I'd be afraid I'd go and never want to leave.
So they do recruit, but they, according to their website, they really discourage. They more encourage people in the ages of 20 to 30.
Yeah.
And then after that, they imply that it might be too hard for you. So it might be too hard for you. But you can check it out. You get plenty of information at clearcreekmonks.org.
Well, I must confess, we've been busy.
We have been.
That's no secret. I'm not telling a lie. We've been busy. I think we're busier now than we've ever been.
We are, and it's hard keeping up. We do have some feedback that I wanted to touch base on.
Okay. You
so,
said it like you're sad about it.
No, not at all.
Okay.
It was in reference to our Cushing Festival in the Park episode. The Cushing Chamber of Commerce reached out to us, which I thought was awesome.
That's big.
They said, thank you for putting Cushing Chamber 36th Annual Festival in the Park on your bucket list and showcasing us on your podcast. They said that they do hope to meet us and our families at the festival. And they said that our kiddos need to do a reiku. It won't go on the fridge, but instead a bowl made by your kids for the coffee table to add to your coffee table art collection.
Now, a reiku?
I don't know what it is.
Something.
It sounds mystical.
It sounds like something you would do with the Benedictine monks.
Maybe. But they also guaranteed a guarantee from the Chamber of Commerce that the weather is going to be perfect.
Like I said during the episode, it's the last weekend in September, right?
Right.
I mean, let's be honest, today was pretty damn nice.
It was.
I mean, it's probably fool's gold. But I think we're showing, I feel like listen, sometimes hope is all you have. And right now I choose to believe that we're over the, I was going to say over the bell curve. We talked a lot about bell curves over the last 5 years, didn't we? I think we're over the hump. Yeah. I feel like I'm really planning on going to this freaking festival and taking my kids to do a reiku, even though they don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is, so.
Cushing, my kids are 3 and 4. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves with what Carson did write his name for the first step. By the way, Tara sent me a picture she goes, what do you think this says? And I'll show you the picture of it. I want you to tell me what you think. Okay, take a look at this and tell me what you think that says. Carson wrote that today in pre-K. I think it's harder for you to read because you're not his dad. You know how parents can interpret their kids better than...
I'm going to go with lambda. Does it say lambda?
Lambda.
What does it say?
It's Carson. Now look at it. You can kind of...
I'm trying, bro.
Give me my phone.
I'm trying.
Well, it's on the fridge. By the way, after our talk about... I listened to I listened to the show again, and I immediately turned around and went home and hugged my kids.
Hey.
Said, I'm sorry. So it will be I think she was putting it on the fridge after she sent it to me. But listen, Cushing, we're coming for you. Come hell, high water. But please, I'll do hell or high water. I can do hail. You know what? I always thought it was hail or high water. It's hell or high water.
Yep.
But for the sake of the weather predictions, come hail or high water, just don't make it hot.
I'm telling you, they have guaranteed, the Cushing Chamber of Commerce has guaranteed it will be, all caps, perfect weather.
I need to know, okay.
Maybe they have a machine.
If I was going to say to you, Harlan, give me perfect weather for September, late September, what is perfect weather? A crispness in the air?
77 degrees.
For the high?
77 degrees.
Okay, gotcha.
No high.
Okay.
It's 77 degrees.
Okay.
2 mile an hour wind out of the east.
So
perfect weather.
A little bit of a wind, a light windbreaker maybe.
Hey, yeah.
Almost a wind chill. I'll take it, Cushing. And I'm going to hold you to your word. Hey, if you guys have feedback for us, you want to give us the perfect weather forecast, the easiest way to do it, always hit us up at OnlyinOKShow@gmail.com. We will take your feedback anywhere. But if you want it to, like Macho Man said, the cream of the crop. I'm sorry, stupid. That was dumb. Take it out. Take that out. You're gonna email brother.
I'm gonna leave that in there.
Leave it. I tried. Yeah. Making coffee in the morning. Yeah. Anyway, Email us, OnlyinOKShow@gmail.com. New episodes, new content, new products, new ways to save money. I'm just throwing
Are
it
you
all.
just saying words? Did you have a
just
stroke over there?
I'm trying to give everybody a reason to listen. You want your kids to learn? You want the winning lottery numbers? Stick around. It's the Only No Case Show. We got you. I'm Brett.
I'm Harley, and we're out of here.
Peace. Thanks a lot. Is that all you got?
I mean, that's literally what it was.
It's like, oh, wow, Mr. I'll be a gentleman now. Like, I don't know what you want, buddy. Your mama? I bet your mom makes noise when she eats. I follow comedians and things like that, and it cracks me up. And I get it. Comedy is subjective. Everything is. Everyone has differing opinions, and there are very few people that hover anywhere near the middle when it's something they're really passionate about. But it kills me how many people will rip a comedian to shreds. That's not even funny. Why would they do? Because it's comedy. Comedy is supposed to be a break away from the everyday.
You know, a comedy show, guy's up there for 40 minutes.
Uh-huh.
You tell a shit ton of jokes in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
How many comedy shows have you been to where the comedian stands up for 40 minutes and probably tells, 60 jokes?
Yeah.
Or somewhere in the neighborhood? How many times have you been to a comedy show where every single person in the audience laughed at every punchline?
None.
So, you mean not every joke? But
no, I've been to comedy shows where I laughed at, like Dave Attell, I laughed at everything that he said, even when it was a sequitur to the next thing.
But
yeah,
you've also been to Dave Attell and noticed that you were laughing when other people weren't laughing.
And, get this, I went to Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle, and you would have thought I was sitting in a library on the section that I was in. The sheer amount of people that didn't laugh. I'm like, we're in the Valley of the Kings.
Dude, honestly, that show couldn't be topped by people that are alive today.
None. Not a chance.
Now, you have a time machine.
Mm-hmm.
I could snag a couple of people that could put on a show that good.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor,
Williams, Carlin.
But the fact that not everybody laughed at everything that those two said should make it abundantly clear that not every joke is for every person,
mm-hmm.
and everybody's got their pet cause.
Yeah.
And you can't ever laugh about your own pet cause.
No.
So that's fine. You don't have to be angry.
Yeah, it's like your hill that you're going to die on is a marquee sign at a gas station. Now,
that's the same thing with that Lil Mike's.
Oh, gosh.
Hamburger. That dude catches so much flack.
But you know what? Didn't keep him from going to the RNC.
He just doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
And
it's great for business.
And whether you agree with him politically or not, I totally support his right to do it.
To do it however and using his platform, whether it's on a hamburger bun or if it's plastering your entire store with Republican, do whatever you want. It's working.
Yeah.
And a good burger, I'm not going to discriminate against a good burger based on your political beliefs, your religious beliefs. That's right, in Okies, we're not allowed to say Okie. I saw your Okie hat in your truck. I was offended by that.
Dude, I got 100 of them. You want to be offended by that? I've got so many things that say Okie on it.
I feel like that needs to be addressed. The whole Okie thing.
Dude, I'm just going to have to say, there are too many
hills to die on?
No, I just don't have the bandwidth to be offended
by everything
with every other person's personal opinions about shit.
Yeah.
Like, the person who wants to throw a hissy fit about Okie. Like, hey, you ever heard the song Proud to be an Okie from Muskogee?
Mm-hmm. By Merle Haggard, yeah.
Like, there's a reason.
Yeah.
we are over it. If you want to be re-offended by something that has not offended us because we took charge of it,
I'm sorry, there's no one alive today, and maybe there are still some, that it has directly impacted in well over 100 years.
No, there's no way, because when did the Dust Bowl happen? 1926?
Yeah.
That's when the phrase became a slur, when the Okies moved to California.
Yeah.
Well, anybody that understood English in 1926 is not alive today. There are no 102-year-old, because even if they were 102, that would mean they were just born in even if they were 98, that would mean they were just born in 1926.
Right.
You weren't offended by anything. You were a baby.
Right. You were traveling in a backpack, essentially.
At best, you'd have to be 10 years old to be offended by it. So that would put you at 1916, which as of today would make you 108 years old.
And even at 10, you probably didn't care.
No.
So,
yeah.
I'm an Okie.
Proud.
I mean, there's a lot. But I haven't seen a lot of push to cancel the Okie name.
No.
Not near as much as I've seen them press to change a sporting team.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Let's make a show.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the show. Today we're exploring welcome to the show. Today we're exploring nature in Hulbert, Oklahoma, and
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. 3, 2, 1.
That actually would be a really good character, by the way.
Oklahoma?
Homer from The Simpsons as an Okie?
Gosh. I don't think it's probably not. They wouldn't be able to do it. We have to put a little country on the end of it or something. I don't know what you have to do. 3, 2, 1.